the Prémio Rafael Manzano. It's an honor. It's very important for me as an architect, but also I think for my country, because our country is very well known for the excellence of its architecture, and now there's something that we can add to that, the new traditional architecture, which is also being recognized. And this prize, it's an incentive to all of those that, like me, believe that traditional architecture, new traditional architecture, is the best response for our problems today and for building today. We are facing huge problems in our cities, in our planet. The architect must concentrate on these issues of public well-being, our public health, our environment. The architect cannot forget that it's a very important role for the community, for the society, to contribute to improve our cities, our health, the places where we live. Also, the architect should be concerned with his client wishes. He's doing a project for his client, not for himself.
De Janelas Verdes, it's a residential building, a condominium. It faces 3 streets, so it's a block, but we decided to make it as an aggregation of 3 buildings to integrate what could be a huge mass, completely dissonant on this area. So you have a first volume, the more noble. There was already a facade here, Pombalin style, all the rest was ruins. We added 1 floor and then 2 other volumes which enter the inner neighborhood in the narrow streets, and it adapts to that more domestic scale.
During my years as a teacher, I tried to demonstrate how can we approach the region, the place where we must build. The approach is always the same. It's trying to understand what the local culture is in Alentejo, in the North Portugal, or in Mozambique. The architect must draw. The time you get to observe and draw is fundamental to understand the place where you are. Then you must be there, talk to the people there. There's always the presence of tradition, of history, of the context, of the local culture, of the genius loci. It's very important to preserve that collective memory.
This was an 18th century house which was a landmark for scenes. It was very ruined, we could not restore it, so we reconstructed it completely. Besides this house, we have 2 new buildings which are linked by a corridor, a bridge which permits that existing path on this place.
I was passionate by vernacular architecture, very young, especially for a region in Portugal, which is Alentejo, which is especially beautiful. Well, I got married with a woman from Alentejo. She taught me the Alentejo, and I got passion. You must observe all the elements of composition. There's a reason for it, and then bring that to your drawing table or to your computer and use all these elements to compose your project.
This is going to be a restaurant intended to service a group of little houses renovated for holiday rentals. In this case, I found myself with an already started structure. However, we can always improve.
You can bring together traditional materials, traditional ways of building with more industrial ways of building. Vernacular architecture is very important today. It contains lessons very useful to us in the situation we are living today in our planet. Vernacular architecture attends to local climate, local materials, contains the natural response that the building must have on a certain place. We, architects, should learn with that and apply that on our work. The Companhia das Lusíadas is a big agriculture company. In this work, we restored, we renovated the existing buildings of the cellars. The wine shop is a completely new building. We respected the typology which is in all the other buildings of the company, which is a very strong image. We must have an alternative to this mass construction, to the construction which is based on mass production products. And if we find local craftsmen, local products, we improve jobs on those regions, on those places, and we contribute to make a better place, better cities, better villages. Technical solutions of the traditional way of building are most of the time the better solutions you have in a certain place. Here the owner, my client, is a very experienced engineer on this kind of work, so I have but to draw my ideas and participate with them on the process of renovation. So you must learn the techniques of that place. You must use the materials which are produced and used for centuries on that region. Work with the builders, como sempre, não usar talocha. And on this process you can always improve. You can bring something more and improve that tradition. Because the archetype, the original reason of that tradition, is still something that is actual, it's something that makes sense nowadays.